All right, and I'm live. Sorry, I'm like 2 minutes late. I was ready to go at 8. I hit start, I hit record, and then nothing showed up on my page. My wife actually used all of my stuff, so I had it connected to her YouTube channel. So hopefully I didn't start a live video on her channel like 2 minutes ago. But here we are now, and hopefully everyone's doing well. So yeah, I was going to make a video, and I'll probably recap and go back and touch over some of this stuff as more people show up. But yeah, so WWDC, big thing yesterday, all the fancy updates for the iPhone, for the iPad, for the Apple Watch, for macOS. WWDC, if you don't know what it is it's a developer conference. So this is not something that a lot of like mainstream average people pay attention to. It's something that's much more important to giant like tech geeks and nerds and industry and people who make apps and program for these platforms. So, but there's some cool stuff. I mean, we've got iOS 15, we've got macOS Monterey, we've got all sorts of things. So, and maybe I'll talk about some BlackBerry stuff later, just because it always devolves into that. But yeah, I was gonna make a video, but I thought this would be a better way to do this, because the people that want to watch it can hop in and watch it and ask some questions. I can talk about this stuff. It's not like my biggest cup of tea in the world. I mean, I do have an iPhone, and I've got an Apple Watch. I just took it off because I was barbecuing for dinner. But I mean, I use my iPhone 12. I've got an iPad, all that stuff. So I thought it was an important thing to talk about, just because there was some really neat stuff that came out of the keynote yesterday. And Christian Geraldo, hey man, thanks for stopping by tonight. Appreciate you being here. So yes, so if there's any questions or anything that y'all are curious about with regard to WWDC itself, but there's a lot of neat stuff. And I guess I'll probably start off with talking about FaceTime. It's funny because I was watching the keynote yesterday with all the stuff going on, and they were talking about all these updates. I'm like, I haven't used FaceTime since like I got the iPhone 12. I've purposely FaceTimed like twice in my life, and the last time I was in Washington D.C. in November of 2019. I remember because I was showing my grandmother the Abraham Lincoln Memorial, because she'd never been to D.C. before. So I called her up on the phone and showed her that. So it's not something I use very often. Eddie Teddy, hey, thanks for being here tonight. So yeah, so FaceTime, one of the cool things that they've updated on here, and I made a comment on Twitter yesterday saying that basically FaceTime invented Zoom, because they have, it's much more expanded now. So they've got spatial audio, which is something they've been trying to incorporate with a lot of different things. So they got spatial audio now, so when you're using a compatible audio setup, it makes it seem more like your friends are coming from their on-screen position. It's just relative position with audio for where what you're seeing people talk. Voice isolation. So they have two different modes for this. They've got voice isolation, so that it will focus in on your voice. So if you got outside surrounding noise going on, kind of like my air conditioner in the background, because it's just really hot in here right now, it will focus in more on your voice, so that way people can pay attention to that. Or there's also where it's like, you can set it to where it will pick up like environmental noise as well, so you can like hear what's going on. Portrait mode, so you can get that with FaceTime. FaceTime links, so this is important. This is one of the big things that came out of it, because right now you basically can only use FaceTime if you have an iPhone. Now you can enter into a into a FaceTime conversation with a link. So whether you use your desktop or whether you use Android. So you can be on an Android phone, or you can be on your desktop, and somebody can send you a FaceTime link, and you can hop in on that now. So that's pretty neat. And then SharePlay. So SharePlay is kind of neat. It's something that other platforms have kind of experimented with. Hey, T, thanks for being here tonight. So with this whole SharePlay thing, this kind of started with like Netflix. I think Netflix had it in beta. I know Amazon did, to where you could like hop in and watch a movie together with somebody. So this one, you can like share music, you can share video stuff that you're watching, and apparently it's going to be working with Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO Max, and TikTok. Like you could sit there and share it with somebody else, and Apparently both watch the same TikTok thing at the same time, I guess. But it's kind of neat. You can share that. You can share your screen with somebody else through FaceTime. So, I mean, hey, it's... I probably won't use that. I was thinking about how I would use this earlier, and it's funny, like when my wife and I are at home, like we've got this big king-size bed, and we have these 2 dogs that are always hanging out in there. I was like, instead of having the big TV on, I'll pull up HBO on my phone, and you put it on your phone, and we'll FaceTime, and then we can just both hold our phones and watch the video. I don't know. There's creative ways I'm sure that people can use this stuff, but still it's neat. They added in this thing called focus mode. So focus mode is like pared down notifications. So right now you just get like shotgun blast all your notifications all the time, or you can have like basically do not disturb. You can set up, it's essentially like profiles. So you can have like personal, you can have like work. So that way when you have these different profiles enabled, if you have it in work mode, maybe like your coworkers will be able to text you, like those notifications will come through, but maybe like other stuff won't, because you don't want to be distracted from work. It's okay to get a text message from a colleague if you're working on a project, but maybe you don't want your mom's text message, or some random person you don't work with texting you and bothering you while you're at work. Or when you're at home, you can have like the home one or the personal one. So that way, let's say your boss tries to text you at 7:30, so you can come in on Saturday and do your TPS cover sheets, then you can have that blocked. So there are these different profiles where that sets up. So I think that that's kind of neat. Live text is pretty interesting. So with live text, what you can do with the phone, or what you're using there, is if you get an image, it'll scan the text in the image. So like if you want to take a picture of like a marker board, you want to take a picture of like a billboard, you want to take a picture of anything that has letters on it, you can have it pull the text from that, and that's really cool because you can take that and you can paste it, you can send it, you can do whatever with it, and you can make it searchable if you're looking for something. So I don't know, I think that's really cool. Also, I really like it with the photos. Like you take a picture of something and then you want to get like the name off of a restaurant, and I think you can even highlight it. And what I was watching in the keynote is you can have it like search, I think, for the restaurant, or maybe even like call, or there's some neat stuff you can do with it. So yeah, this is the first time I've really dived in like this deep whenever it comes to like Apple stuff. I mean, I don't normally get too excited about the WWDC stuff because I'm not the biggest Apple person, but I figured I put the poll out there. Some people are interested in it, so I thought, well, here, I'll go ahead and tell everybody about all this stuff so that they can at least see it. So if 1,000 people watch it, great. If there's 15 people, then I'm here to talk about all this stuff for you guys. Elias Base Tester, hey. Has Sam, hello, thanks for being here tonight. Talking about WWDC 2021 and some of the new stuff that's come out of it. So one of the cool things I really like is they made an update to Apple Wallet. So with the Apple Wallet, you've already got, you can put your Apple Card, you can put your debit card, your credit card stuff in there, your gym membership. They're expanding that for actual like IDs. So if you've got like a driver's license, and this is going to take time probably for different states to adopt this. And from what I know, they are they're like in talks, I guess, with TSA, to where ultimately the goal is that you should be able to use this when you go to the airport. So that way you don't have to tote your wallet around. I mean, I think they're trying to set it up with keys too, where you can have like a virtual key or like a key card. So if you go to like a hotel or something, they're really trying to like expand this out to make it where you don't need to take your wallet. And that makes sense because the app is called Wallet, but you can't really leave home without your wallet right now. So if you can put your ID card in there, if you can have your driver's license, you can have your insurance card, I mean, that right there is enough to tether you away from your wallet. And then add your credit card, you got your Apple card, you've got all that stuff. If you could just travel with a phone, that would be really nice. So I like that they're doing that. And the biggest thing, though, is going to be adoption, getting like state and regulatory, federal agencies on board so you can travel with it. It's great to be able to have a picture in there. That's cool. But if you get pulled over and the state doesn't recognize that, and then the police officer's like, hey, where's your driver's license? You try and show them on your phone, you might be like, yeah, we don't take that. So, or somebody else illustrated maybe like going to a bar or something, maybe, they can't scan that to make sure that it's not counterfeit. There has to be some sort of mechanism in there to make sure that this stuff is legit. Of course, if they scan it, it's going to come back and bounce back to whatever the registry that it's in, but I think it's cool. So that's one thing. Apple Maps. There's a lot of cool stuff they're doing with Apple Maps. So Apple Maps has actually been pretty good here recently. They made a bunch of updates a little while ago to because Apple Maps was terrible, and they actually used, I believe they were found like used Google Maps for a long time, and then they didn't want to pay them, so they decided to make their own, and it's finally getting good. Well, this one now has like 3D graphics, so like if you see an overpass, it looks like if you're playing like one of those games, you can look down, you see the overpass, you see the regular road, you can see the elevation as it goes up and down. So it's some cool stuff. Definitely check it out if you want. Let me see. CH Gadgets, what up, peeps? Hey, Sam, I am more of an iPadOS fan, but respect your opinion about the Tab S7. Totally cool there. I'm glad you watched the video. Where's the Mario hat? I'm not going to wear it, but I'll show it to you. It's entirely too hot in my office right now because I built it in the garage, so that's what you're hearing in the background is my air conditioner. But I've totally got my Mario hat here. So there you go. I got this hat a couple of years ago, and you know, my kids, I saw this when I was at GameStop, and my profile picture for the longest time, even now it's still there, I put it back, I had taken the picture and sent it to my wife, and I was like, hey, take a look at this Mario hat, because my kids really liked it. And they're like, I got home, and they're like, where's the Mario hat? I'm like, well, it's at the store. I'm not buying that. I don't want that hat. They're like, oh, man, we really like the hat. So I had like $20 in like gift cards for GameStop, so I went back and I bought it. So that's where the Mario hat came from. And I was actually just being silly one day when I made another video. And then it stuck. So it was funny. I went to CES in 2020 last year, and when I was there like talking to people and meeting everyone, they're like, you look really familiar, but I'm not sure exactly who you are. And then I'm like, well, on Twitter I have a Mario hat on my profile. Like, yeah, you're the Mario guy. So anyway, it's whatever. I have 6 kids. I don't really care what I look like. It's funny. It's entertaining. So that's why I have that. That's the story behind the Mario hat. Nobody cared who I was till I put on the Mario hat. CH Gadgets, submit you a little deeper in the ecosystem. Yes, totally. So all this stuff really does a good job of like making iOS better. Like, that's what we want. I mean, this is not something that's super glamorous. A lot of people are like, hey, are they going to announce new phones at WWDC? No. It's like they have 2 events. So around September, October timeframe is when the new phones come out. And then like usually in the spring, they'll have the iPad stuff, iPad Pro, and sometimes the computers, depending when they launch that stuff. But the WWDC is just all the updates for all the different operating systems for these platforms. So for the Apple Watch, for the iPad, for the computers, which is macOS, and then for the phone, you get iOS. So that's basically what it is. So a lot of this stuff is really important though. So like the 3D, like more topographical 3D elevations and stuff, rendered landmarks so you can see things better, as opposed to like these little squares and blocks. Like there's actually building data there now. So if you like pull up to a monument, it'll look like a monument. So I like that. Elias Base Tester's 9 o'clock there. Yeah, it's 8:15 here. My power actually went out for like an hour last night, which is really annoying. This is like the 3rd time it's happened since last week. We had like an extreme weather event last week, and I think it blew a couple of transformers. So they had a lot of repair stuff that they needed to do. So they keep waiting until late, which of course is when I record my videos. And last night I was sitting down, I was going to record, and then poof, you know, power went out for like an hour. A Dizzle, is the Z Flip still being repaired? No, because they decided they're going to mail me a check instead, and that's it's a mess. So they said they were sending it back the day after I mailed it in, and then they're like, there's nothing wrong with it, we're sending it back tomorrow. And then they never sent it back. So 2 weeks later I call them, and they're like, yeah, so we're just going to give you a replacement, we're going to send you a new one. Never sent that. Call me a week later and say, hey, we're just going to mail you a check for $1,200. So I'm waiting for that to show up. Oh, goodness. It's a mess. AirPods, so a couple updates to that if you have them. So I like one thing that they're doing. It's called conversation mode. AirPods Pro will now be able to boost the volume of voices. So it's really neat to be able to do that, because a lot of people wear their earbuds all the time. You know, whether you're making phone calls, listening to music, like you walk around, people are just wearing them. So I like this new conversation mode to where it acts kind of like an artificial hearing aid. It'll boost some of that stuff to make it where you can hear people talk better. so you don't have to like take them out all the time, I guess. And then Find My AirPods will now work with Find My app even when they're in the case, which is good. So that's cool. And the spatial audio is coming to tvOS, which is crazy. iPadOS is going to get some new home screen widgets, and you're supposed to be able to move them where you want now. Not like just a dedicated area, not just like a pop-out, not just certain things. You're supposed to be able to kind of put them wherever you want. So I think that that's important. Also, new multitasking menu and notes. So basically, there's like these little sticky notes that you can have that pop up that are app exclusive. So like if you're doing something, you can pull up the little note, and it looks like a post-it note on the screen, and you can like, I think you can draw up or drag up from like the corner. You'll get the note, and then you can flip it out of the way, and then it's, you know, paired up with the app. So it's something that's neat. I like this because it makes it like I work on a desk. Like when I used to be in the military, I used to use Post-it notes for everything. I would have a monitor, and I would have like 50 Post-it notes. I'd do Post-it notes. I would put them in order. I'd have them on the desk. So having Post-it notes that you can put with your apps is really nice. So I like that a lot. They call it Quick Notes. And then Translate, they're going to have a system-wide text translation option, which is good too. And then Swift Playgrounds allows you to actually make apps on the iPad. And I used a program like 20 years ago, 25 years ago. It's sad saying that because I'm 37 now. I used to program with Quick Basic and C, like way back in the day. So I don't know what this looks like with the Swift Playgrounds, but the idea of being able to build apps on the iPad is really cool, and yeah, that's neat. But they kind of shafted us a little bit because they came out with this new M1 chip iPad Pro, and there's not really a whole lot that takes advantage of it right now. So, I mean, we can only guess that Final Cut Pro and these pro-level Apple apps are going to come to it eventually, but they're not here now. So if you were waiting to get one, hopefully this told you basically, hey, wait a little bit longer, because there's not a whole lot of incentive. If you're not on an upgrade cycle already, don't go out and waste your money getting the new iPad Pro. It's just not worth it. I got one, but I didn't have an iPad already. So if I had a 2018 or a 2020, definitely no, not worth picking it up. Not yet. Jiffer, I would take $1,500 over the Flip because you can get you can get the Z Flips and the Z Flip 5G so cheap right now. The only reason I have heartburn about them sending this back to me, well, basically giving them money, is when the new Z Flip 3 comes out, I was gonna do comparison video stuff, and now it's like I don't want to go buy another Z Flip just so I can make comparison videos and end up trading it in anyway. It's just, I would have just liked my Z Flip back. I mean, I love the Z Flip. It was such a good phone until it had the screen issue. But at least they're cutting me a check for the fair market value, which is $1,200. They sell them for $11.99 without any trade-ins. So I don't know. I mean, I may trade something in, get another one. That I really want to be able to make the videos on that. The Z Flip and the Z Flip 5G. I mean, there's like a couple different core pillars of content that I cover. Of course, BlackBerry, anything with a keyboard phone, Unihertz, all that good stuff. But the Z Flip and the tabs are two things that I really cover a lot on. So not having my Z Flip is kind of frustrating, but I don't know what I'm going to do. Let me see here. Got to catch up on a couple of these comments. Jiffer just got here. I'm all on iOS 15. I haven't updated to iOS 15 yet. I don't know if I have a developer profile. And here's another thing. Just, one thing I want to talk about. When it comes to iOS and the update stuff, I believe the developer update is available now for developer beta, and I think next month the public beta is available, if I remember correctly. I usually try to avoid the betas just because historically they've had some issues, so I haven't got any of the beta stuff yet. I don't know. A lot of people that I know have got it, and they're saying that they haven't really noticed much of a difference, which is actually a good thing, because that means that it's pretty smooth. Normally, like I think it was iOS 12 or iOS 13 really messed up some people's phones. So I don't know. If I'm gonna get the beta, I might wait till the public beta. I think next month. It's just not my thing. So I don't know. Like I wouldn't even make a video about it. I only made this video. I decided to do a live stream so I could talk and hang out with some of you guys and talk about it because there are people that legitimately want to know about it. which is why I did the poll. Of course, there are people that also are interested in Jaws 3, so I really need to question the people that are doing these polls. Jaws 3 is not a good movie. It's pretty terrible. But anyway, yeah, so I don't really cover a lot of Apple stuff. The only reason I covered this is because there was like 50% of people wanted to see it. And there was a couple hundred, I guess. I don't even know how many are on the poll. I'll have to look at it. But anyway, the problem with development on the iPad is your app is restricted to Swift. You're still going to need a full macOS to fully test apps. Now, that's frustrating. When BlackBerry failed to innovate, people jumped ship to never return, but Apple and iOS failed to innovate. Yeah, I mean, they do fail to innovate in some areas, but they're still pushing the envelope and creating an environment that's good for people. That, I mean, they really are built. These are a lot of really good features. Yeah, Dom. So I did a poll on my YouTube community asking people if they wanted to see, if they wanted me to cover WWDC, which is what I'm doing right now. So the poll. So I said, I think tomorrow I'm going to do a WWDC update live stream. It's going to be a lot of information. I think it's the best way to cover it. Who's down? Option number 1, let's do it. 38%. I love your live streams. 6%. Option 3, shut up already. Also a solid 6%. You're not wrong there. I care 0%. That was a 21% option. And then Jaws 3 was a great movie was option number 5 with a 29%. So. And this is out of 200 votes. So like 50 people said that Jaws 3 is a great movie. Anyway. Yeah, I like to do polls. I mean, hopefully some of you guys are here because of the poll. I always put 3 or 4 serious options in there, and I always like to have like one fun thing on there that's completely unrelated. So, yeah. So whenever it comes to talking about innovation, Pastor Todd, I think they innovate fine. It's just innovation is in a different form. Like before, a lot of the innovation was done with hardware, and now a lot of the innovation is done with software. So there's a lot of software updates that are really coming out with this stuff. Security updates and privacy. There's a couple wins here. You get a privacy report. They'll summarize how often any given app accesses your location, your photos, etc., all that stuff to flag different behavior. Siri's recognition will now happen on device. And this is something that Google started doing, I want to say with Android 10. Of course, they still have the back end with like the cloud stuff where it works better, but on-device speech recognition means it's not sending your data off somewhere to process it and then send it back. So if you ever noticed, if you were trying to tell Siri to do something, like you're trying to say something, and then if you weren't connected or you had a bad signal, nothing would show up. Well, since it's going to do the translation on the device now, then it should do it instantaneously, and it also keeps your data safer because it's not sending it off somewhere for a bigger computer to analyze it. Apple servers and recordings, yes. So you'll be able to add recovery contacts to your iCloud. So right now you can recover things for your iCloud, and you can answer your security questions and stuff. You can add like trusted people to where if something happens, like I guess it can call them and they can get the security code for you so you can get in. So that's cool. And then there's one for legacy data. And this is kind of sucky to talk about because whenever somebody passes on, their data kind of goes away with them, because if it's locked up in the phone, like if I were to keel over right now, I got like 40 phones that my wife's not going to be able to hop on there and get all my pictures and get all that other stuff. So you can set it up where you can have like a legacy contact where in the event that you pass away, they can get access to your stuff so that they can get in there and get important information off your device or your account, get photos, get certain things. So I really like that idea, and it's very forward thinking because this is like a problem. Facebook kind of addresses this. Like if you pass away, like people can go through a process to get access to your account. But this working with your iCloud, I think is really cool, and it could be really helpful, or it could be really mad. I mean, if I were like talking to a bunch of women and I died, and like my wife got on my phone and saw all these people that I'd been talking to, like she probably wouldn't like that a lot. So I don't know what the advice I can give you there is. Like if you're talking to a bunch of different people and you think you're going to die, just delete that stuff, so that way your significant other doesn't hop in on your legacy account. In all serious folks, it's nice that they have that so that people can get your stuff. So there's some health updates. Let me see here. You're a nonstop rock on. Wasn't Jaws 3 in 3D? I think Jaws 3 was in 3D. It was. If you've never seen Jaws 3, like, you need to go watch it. It's one of those movies. I don't know how they ever got this movie made, and it's got Louis Gossett Jr. in it, or Louis Gossett, however you want to say it. Great actor. I love his stuff, especially when he was in Iron Eagle. I grew up. Iron Eagle was the greatest. So Jaws 1, great movie. Steven Spielberg, amazing movie. Jaws 2 is good. Jaws the Revenge is okay. Jaws 3 happens at SeaWorld. Yeah, there's Jaws 3, right? Jaws 3. Is it Jaws 2 or yeah, Jaws 3 happens in SeaWorld, right? Yeah, at SeaWorld. So I don't know how they ever figured this out. So you got a great white shark at SeaWorld. It comes in basically through like this barrier and gets in and it just starts like it eats like the water skiers, and it eats everything. I mean, it's what Jaws does. But the movie, utterly terrible. So if you've not seen it, go watch it. But it's there. Let me see. June, hey, thanks for being here tonight. Do you know of any landscape keyboard phones that aren't out of date? No. I mean, they've got the FX Tech Pro, which they're making a new version of that based on... What is that other... There's some operating system that it's based off. I can't remember the name of it right now. And then there's the Cosmo Communicator, but both of them are really... They're not viable options, in my opinion. Almost Shark Week. Oh, yeah, I voted in the poll, I think. Jesse Beausoleil. Sup, peeps. Josh Leibowitz. A Dizzle. Jiffer. Lots of people in here tonight. Thanks for stopping by. And showing up. I mean, I know a lot of people aren't interested in this because it's not BlackBerry. I cover a lot of BlackBerry stuff. I do cover other things. I thought this was important enough to give a breakdown and talk to people about it. There's a really cool thing, just so all you know, iOS 15, they finally put tons of privacy on mail. Yes! So, I'm going to get to that in a minute once we get to the email. But in macOS Monterey... No, iOS. Sorry, not Monterey. With iOS 15, in the Mail app, they have it set up now where you can basically... I guess it's kind of like a VPN. You can spoof your IP address. So, I have this problem a lot. You get emails that have trackers in them. And that way, when you open the email, it'll tell them you opened it, or they can get access to your IP information, so they can like kind of, you know, they can get certain data from you. So when it comes to this, you can basically scrub that and set it up, and it kind of gives it. I guess it's kind of like a fake email. Like you can sign up for stuff, or you can reply to stuff, and you like won't get the emails back. So that's good. Hello, Adam. If Apple made a keyboard phone, I'd buy it immediately. Hey, I would get any keyboard phone. I love physical keyboards. Like, ultimately, I love BlackBerry, but I love physical keyboards on phones. That's my thing. So, here, I've got the Unihertz Titan Pocket, and it has a physical keyboard on it. And I've really been enjoying it. I'll have another video coming out about this soon, but yeah, if Samsung made a keyboard phone, if anyone else made a keyboard phone, I'm totally going to test it out. So, back on target here. So, health updates on the summary. You can actually share this stuff now. They've actually included more stuff. So, your iPhone can now analyze your gait, which is the way you walk. So, if you have an irregular walk, they call it walking steadiness, it'll flag and be like, hey, there's something wrong with your walk. Because they figured that over time, that if you've got issues with the way that you start walking, that can be, you know, derivative from certain health problems. They have trends in the health app, which will highlight your step counts, your heart rate, and also health sharing. So you can share your health data with people now. So if you want to share it with mom, I guess it might work kind of like it does when you set up like goals or like, you know, rivals or whatever for like your exercise stuff, and it sends notifications or you can share things. You can share your health data, so that's cool. Yeah, because they don't abandon their phones with Android 8. Oh, here's one interesting thing. So iOS 15 is supported all the way back to the iPhone 6S, which is just maddening to me because we've had the 6S, we've had the 7, we've had the 8, we've had the 10, we've had the 10S, we've had the 11, and now the 12. 7 iPhones later, and they're still supporting the iPhone 6S, which is just crazy. So, hey, that just goes to show what you can do when you have your own silicone, you have your own operating system, you have your own hardware, like you can, it's so much easier to support that stuff, down the road. And watchOS now will track your respiratory rate. So not just the watch with your heart rate, it'll also track how much you breathe. So a normal person, a normal adult, breathes like, I think it's 12 to 20 times per minute is what's considered normal. So it'll track that stuff to tell you if you're breathing more, if you're breathing less, especially at nighttime. So if you're breathing a lot more at nighttime or breathing less, it can be also indicative of other health problems. So this will track that for you now, which is pretty neat. If only I could get Apple to make a watch that the battery would last for 2 days, because it's so frustrating. If you wear the watch, which thankfully you can charge it in like an hour and a half now with the Apple Watch Series 6, the problem I have is I can wear it all day, but then at nighttime I take it off, put it on the charger, because if I sleep with it on, it won't last all the way through the next day. And then it's like, well, I need somewhere to charge it, and of course charging is most logically done at nighttime. So yeah, they need, once they get the Apple Watch to be like a 3-day device, all this stuff is going to be much more meaningful to people. They do have new exercise modes for Tai Chi and Pilates. So if you do either of those, which I don't, so I'm fat, then you can have the workout modes on there for that. And they have a portraits watch face as well. So the portraits watch face, so you can have a watch face that rotates in and out pictures, which is kind of cool. I mean, Google Home and other places have been doing this for a long time. Apple has invented it now, so you can do that. That's neat. Just make sure just make sure you scrub it, and you don't want pictures showing up you don't want to show up. But yeah, it'll rotate out portraits with the watch face. So that's kind of neat. I like that. If you want to look at one kid during 1 hour of the day or whatever, I'm not sure what the implementation is, but it's kind of cool. Text input is getting a nice little overhaul with scribble handwriting recognition being incorporated next to the text view. So that you can use the crown to place the text cursor and then draw a letter or a symbol. So you get a little bit more flexibility there. Public beta is in July. Full release this fall on that one. So pretty neat. Homebrew. Yeah, I totally love the commitment. I mean, I'm not the biggest Apple fan in the world. I mean, I'm not. I never have been. But I do like a lot of the stuff that they do. And that's one of the benefits of kind of keeping things streamlined with their own operating system. You build upon that stuff and you get new features. That's kind of like what, Pixel, the Pixel phones with the Google and Android operating system, like they've got the video astrophotography now. Like they keep adding new features. So I like that they're doing this stuff. It keeps things fresh. It keeps things relevant. It helps exploit the hardware so you get more out of it. And it's just amazing to me that they are supporting all the way back to the iPhone 6S. That's just crazy to me. There's a new app in the iOS 15 and native. It's called Magnifier. It's used on the camera on your phone, lets you zoom way in to take a photo, then saves the entire thing so you can zoom out. Hey, that's pretty cool. I didn't see that one, Jiffer. And you said you got it up and running on your phone, though, so that's neat. Ronald Hudson, top off the watch in the morning and before bed. Yeah, I mean, you can do that, and that's what I would do if I do stuff like that, because I do like to wear it at night. I mean, if you've got sleep apnea, I mean, this can be something that's really important. It can tell you your respirations per minute. You can look at different events. And it's one thing, like every single one of these things is a different piece of the puzzle. If you've got the EKG, if you've got the, where it checks for atrial fibrillation, if you've got the heart rate monitor, if you've got the respiration monitor, like all this stuff works together to give you a good picture of what your health looks like. It's like we're more in tune with our health than we have ever been before. And like this, my mom has atrial fibrillation issues all the time. She's got some heart problems. So she has an iPhone, and she used to have this special thing that you could put on the back of the phone with these little paddles that would like tell you the atrial fibrillation and like all the other data and send it off to her doctor. But they have now with the Apple Watch, you've got the 1 lead EKG on there, or ECG, electrocardiogram, so where you can check and see if you've got normal sinus rhythm for your heartbeat, and that's really cool. Yep, notifications way better in iOS 15. Focus mode is cool. Also shows you what status you're in to people in iMessages. That's nice. I didn't know that. So apparently you get a status indicator on iMessages now, so people can see like, hey, leave me alone right now. So that's good. A lot of other messaging platforms have had that for a little while. I have that set up with Google Chat, and I use that for work all the time. Siri's going to third-party devices. I think they're going to, Ecobee thermostats, so that's kind of neat. I'm sure that's going to expand more places. And then macOS, so no longer Big Sur, is now the new version is going to be Monterey. Keeping in line with their like monument, big areas, geographical locations inside of California. So that's kind of neat. All the aforementioned SharePlay stuff, so it allows you to watch video and listen to music in sync with friends over FaceTime. That's pretty cool. Universal control now lets you use one mouse, one keyboard, one mouse setup to control multiple Macs, which is crazy to me. Macs are getting AirPlay, so that'll be nice. You can send stuff straight to your display like you do with your TV right now, so I like that. Or with Apple TV. Shortcuts automation from iOS is coming to macOS, so you can get some more optimization there. And Safari is getting a user interface overhaul. Tabs are being made smaller. They're introducing a tab groups. And they just recently did this with Google Chrome. I can't say that I really like it all that much. I kind of like the way it was set up before. But like with Google Chrome, you've got the little tabs with the little circles down at the bottom now. I like that a lot, but I don't like the tab grouping. So we'll see how I like it with this. Really and truly, I'm still just waiting for them to make it where I can move my apps independently. The icons on my screen, that would be nice. And also, I want an option to delete or close all apps out. I would really like that too. But public beta is in July for macOS Monterey with full release this fall. So there's a lot of really cool stuff, lots of interesting things that they're doing to keep the hardware fresh and relevant and up to date and all sorts of new stuff. So just wanted to hop on and share some of these things. Hopefully this has been helpful. This is the first time I've done anything like this, so maybe we'll do this again in the future if people see relevancy in it. I mean, the biggest thing here is just to tell you guys, a lot of this stuff is, like I said, it's very tech savvy kind of stuff. It's not a lot of things that most people normally pay attention to. A lot of times people are like, oh, when's the new phone come out? When do the new headphones come out? When's the new watch come out? When's the new iPad come out? But this is not really product centric. It's improvements to your existing products and the software that they run on. So, there's a lot of good stuff here to unpack, and I thought that, if there's at least, some people that are interested in this, and I'd hop on and break it down and tell you all about it. Save you. I figure a lot of people like to watch my channel. They like to watch, and get the information that I have to talk about. Maybe you'd rather watch me say it than watch iJustine or somebody else. So, not turning into an Apple-centric channel. It's just WWDC is a big thing, and this is a lot of different stuff. And some people have been kind of upset about it, and I can take that multiple different ways. I mean, there are certain levels of frustration I have, like the new iPad. They put the new M1 chip in it. We kind of thought, hey, maybe that means they might give us Final Cut Pro and some other pro level apps, and then it didn't happen. So it's like, other than just using all these M1 chips you have to try and get all your devices on the same platform, not really a whole lot of reason to update, because you're not really exploiting the chipset and maximizing. Like, why have a 2 terabyte iPad with 16 gigs of RAM to watch Netflix? I mean, it's still, the iPad is a little. It's supposed to be, hey, what's a computer? You can use the tablet, but then it's still limited by the iPadOS. So, yeah. Give us a quick update on your health. I don't know if you're talking about from when I almost got killed by my hot tub last week or with the upcoming stuff, but as far as upcoming stuff, I'm having surgery the first week of July because I've got this massively pinched nerve in my neck. So I'm having surgery for that, which is they said 3 to 4 week recovery time. I don't exactly know how long I'll be out from making videos. Probably, hopefully 2 weeks I can get back to making videos. So the plan is leading up till then to create some videos to make sure that there's at least content to come out while I'm out of commission. And also, I don't think there's any big stuff coming up right then, which is why I scheduled it for then. But yeah, it's been a problem. As far as my hot tub trying to kill me last week, Well, not the hot tub. The hot tub is neutral, but the chemicals that the pool company told me to put in my hot tub is what almost killed me. So thankfully I'm back and back from that, and I didn't end up getting chemical-induced pneumonia, and I didn't die. So what doesn't kill you makes you stronger and more hateful, I guess. But either way, so I'm all right, thankfully. Jeff, for WWDC is the soul of the hardware. It makes the hardware good. Yeah, I mean the software is what exploits the hardware. I mean ultimately, yeah, it's very important, and there's a lot of good stuff there. So it's good to know about this stuff. I mean, the more cool features you have, the more you can enjoy what you do. So mine's not a Fusion. What it is I do need to have a Fusion. I have to have a 3-level Fusion, but it's not going to be not quite there yet. The doctor's like, we'll give it a little bit. We'll keep an eye on it. He's like, it hasn't substantial. Like my C, just so y'all know, my C4 through my C7 are all like 6 to 8 millimeters herniated. I've got lots of indentation. I've got a very, very narrow space around my spinal cord and my neck. But so what they're doing this time is it's called a foraminotomy. So just for a little medical lesson, from your spinal cord, there's like a canal that goes through the vertebrae, or the space in between there, where the nerve passes out and goes through, protected, and then comes out to where, your shoulder, your arm, whatever it goes to. And where that nerve comes out from my spinal cord and goes out through that little canal is basically crushed. Degeneration, inflammation in the joint space, tons of arthritis. Like we were going through the MRI and looking down, and he's like, okay, you can see the nerve here, C4, C5, C6, and C7. It's like, you can't see it. It's like a pancake. So anyway, just the health update there. No, a chiropractor can't touch my neck at all. So yeah, that's it's supposed to be a relatively simple procedure, but they have to cut through all this tissue over here to get to that. So basically, they're gonna go in and clean everything out, put some sort of a spacer thing there. I don't know. It's a really good doctor. That's why I had to wait to get on the list so I could get in to go do that. But hopefully, after the first week of July, life will be substantially better. But yeah, I wanted to get on here. I mean, we don't have as many people as we usually do in here, but I'm not talking about BlackBerry, so I didn't really expect 60, 70 people to show up. But the guys, those of you who are here tonight, I appreciate you taking the time to be here. Hopefully this has been helpful for you guys. You can go back and watch it and cover some of that stuff. So yeah, that'll be neat. Sam, am I excited for the new Sony earbuds? I am. So I watched the keynote on that today, and they're talking about 8 hours of battery life with noise cancellation on, and Sony has like industry-leading noise cancellation. So 8 hours. I mean, they're still bulky. I mean, they're big, and that's one of the things with Sony. And one day we'll get to the point where it's probably like real small, and it's no big deal. But they still look rather large. So yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'm gonna go spend like $300 to buy them. I wish Sony would send them to me. I did just get a new pair of earbuds, just for another talk. Yeah, Sony has had a press event today to talk all about the new earbuds. I'll find it for you real quick. I'll share the link. Let me see, YouTube, Sony earbuds, the XM4s. So yeah, they had here we go. I will share the link here. Oh dear, that's loud. So yeah, you can watch that and learn all about the new 1000X M4s, the WF series. I really wish they would come up with like actual names for these things. I'm like, yeah, you guys should go check out the new Sony earbuds, the new WF 1000X M4s. All right, cool. Say that 3 times fast in conversation. I don't know. So yeah, trying to debate what to do here. I think we pretty much talked about all the WWDC stuff, and of course we could pivot to talking about something else, but then everybody will think this video is just about WWDC. So I don't know. Yeah, the Sony stuff is cool. Pastor Todd, thanks. I appreciate it. I sincerely do. You guys are all great. So I thank you all for the support. But yeah, I've been trying to truck along. The reason I haven't been doing as many live streams, it's actually been better here for like the last week or so. I've had a lot less pain. I don't know if it's just because it's been pinched for so long that it's just not working properly anymore or what, but yeah, I was in substantial pain for a while. I mean, there was like 2 weeks where I was like, I don't even know if I can keep making videos. So it was just, it was really rough. I would be like in near tears out here just trying to sit up straight for 15 minutes to record something and then go take like a 2-hour break on my heating pad and take pain medicine and then come back and then, you know, try to edit the video. So my quality of life has improved a lot over about the last 2 weeks. So I'm thankful for that, but still, yeah, have to have surgery to get it fixed because it's a mechanical issue. But yeah, yeah, I wish Apple would redesign the mouse too. I don't use the mouse. I've never cared for them, and the mouse, like the old one mouse button, used to really throw me off. I use the Magic Trackpad. I've never had a Mac desktop until I got my Mac Mini, and I bought this when I got my Mac Mini because I used the MacBook Pro so long, and I was used to the touchpad. And I'm like, well, I really like the touchpad, and especially with like Big Sur and stuff, it really capitalizes on using the gestures and stuff. So I was like, I'll buy this. I totally love it. I actually used my PC mouse when I first got the Mac Mini. I'm like, I don't like this. It feels so much more natural to me to use the touchpad. So I use the Magic Trackpad, and I love it. I wish I could get to the point where they'd send me stuff to review, so I didn't have to keep buying it. I'm sure everybody thinks that. Sorry if I talk lots. It's my 30-minute escape. Hey, no worries. I'm here to talk. I like to come here and do this stuff. And yeah, I feel like I've been missing out for the last 2 months, even with my weekly live stream that me and my buddy Dan, our Unhinged Tech, you know, we both had. I've had medical issues. He had some issues going on. So I'm hoping after I recover in July that we'll be able to start doing our weekly Unhinged Tech talk show, because we really love doing that. And I want to get back to my weekend, have my weekend live stream with you guys, because that's one of the favorite things I like doing. Yeah, it's great to make content. I like making videos, but I really like to be able to sit down and answer you guys' questions and talk about stuff. So, yeah, tonight I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. Some people want to watch it. I'll give the breakdown. I followed it pretty well yesterday, so yeah. Homebrew GT is fun when you do your streams. Hey, like I said, I love the live stream. There's one thing that whoop, just knocked it off my keyboard. Yeah, if you look at macOS the way that it is now, it's very much like it's more geared towards touch and swipe gestures than it is for a mouse. So I mean, I'm all here for it. It felt less intuitive for me when I started using the mouse as opposed to the touchpad. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm spending $120. I'm gonna go buy the touchpad, and I haven't looked back. The only time that it does irk me is when I need to drag and drop something because of the touch contact. Like with a mouse, if you're using a mouse and you want to drag and drop something, you can just pick up the mouse and keep moving it as long as you hold the button. When you're trying to drag and drop stuff with your fingers on a touchpad, your fingers can only go so far, and then you can't like hold one finger or move another one. You're like playing Twister there, trying to get it to go the extra half an inch, and it just doesn't work out. But it does feel much more intuitive, so I really like what Apple's doing. I've actually got a MacBook Air with the M1 sitting on my table in the kitchen. I've got a 2019 MacBook Pro 16-inch that I bought when I first started using Final Cut Pro last summer, and I got my wife a 2020 MacBook Pro with the i5. The problem is, though, I bought that, and then like 6 weeks later they announced the M1 versions, and I couldn't take it back. I'm like, well, this sucks. So I use the Mac Mini now. And so she had started using my MacBook Pro, but she didn't really like it. So I traded in her MacBook. They gave me $700 for it, and I paid like the $400 difference, and I got her the 512 version of the MacBook Air that has all 7 GPU and CPU cores, not the 7 and the 8. So she can use that to continue editing her videos. And she just did a live stream using my setup here the other day, which it was funny. There was like 1 or 2 people, and they're like, "Oh, that set looks awfully familiar." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's mine." And also, I've got a little sun here too. I think I've still got a little less hairline as well, but I've been outside doing a lot of yard work and stuff. It's the Native American in my family. We get very red very easily. It's just natural skin thing. I don't burn. It's just red. Yeah. So Scott, the reason I don't know how bad it is on y'all's end, and I have my air conditioner on in here because it's like 93 degrees today, and I came out here and I'm like, holy cow, I'm not going to be able to sit in here and talk. Like, I'm going to die. So I'm getting a new air conditioner unit. Hopefully about 2 weeks. I'm going to order it maybe tonight, and it's going to be one of those split units, so it has like the actual all the mechanical stuff outside with the radiator and the fan and the coils and the compressor, and just a vent in here. So one, it will keep it cooler, and two, you don't have to listen to the air conditioner in the background. It's interesting. Let me see. Bridge is a new keyboard case for the iPad. Yeah, that seems neat. I just ordered just a rinky one. I don't like the folio style covers and cases for the iPad, so I've got just a clear case coming in. It was supposed to be here 2 days ago, and I got the email that says, apologies, it's going to be late, so maybe it'll be here tomorrow. No, Jiffer, we have a MacBook Pro non-M1, so it's the i5 13-inch 2020 model, and ended up trading that so we could get the MacBook Air with the M1 in it. So not really, just kind of a swap so that she can edit her videos faster. The i5 is okay, but it takes like an hour to render her videos, so she just wanted something faster. Ubuntu, that's what it was. Yeah, so the FX Tech Pro 1, they're gonna have an Ubuntu model that they're working on. Amigo, nice, yeah. So I guess I'll probably get ready to wrap it up here. It's almost been an hour, and I think I've talked about all of the WWDC stuff I can think of. But yeah, if you have any questions or anything, thanks a lot for taking the time to stop by. Of course, we got 42 viewers in here and 12 likes. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like button on the way out. So, you know, I guess it helps with the metrics. I don't know. People say that all the time. They're like, "Oh yeah, hit the like button. It really helps." Like, I don't really know how much it helps. I mean, you could probably hit the dislike button, and it would probably have like an equal effect. Like nowadays, like you can't even see the dislike button in Creator Studio anymore because I guess people are getting triggered by seeing downvotes. I'm like, it doesn't hurt my feelings. Like, I've been shot at. I've been almost blown up a few times. I mean, dislikes don't hurt my feelings. If it's not good, then, you know, I'll adjust fire and, you know, make better stuff that people like. But I think that having thumbs up and thumb down is really a good way to see how well your content is received. So I really think that people are missing out on that. So anyway, and a thumbs up there from Billy J. Thank you very much. So I guess that's about it. You see, it's about 9 o'clock. For those of you who are the regular crowd, I may have a video for tomorrow. I'm not 1,000% sure yet. I haven't got that far yet. I was planning on doing this this live stream so I could tell everybody about WWDC. I do have some stuff coming up though. I've got a exercise spin bike that's like a knockoff for the Peloton. Is that what they're called? Yeah, the Peloton. Yeah. It's definitely a knockoff, but it's a really good quality bike. And I've also got some new Rocket stuff. I've got 2 new Rocket mice and 2 new Rocket keyboards, the Magma, the Pyro, and I've got this new Kone and Kone Air series, which is really cool. Totally love this mouse. I've been using it for about 2 weeks now. 3 different ways it can connect. It can connect with the USB-C cable on the top. It's got a dongle you can plug in, so you can use the Wi-Fi signal there that it emits. And then it's also got Bluetooth, and you can switch it on the bottom along with the DPI stuff. So it's really a neat mouse. It's super light, and I've been playing games. I've been using it for work, and it's got probably one of the nicest trackables I've ever used. But anyway, and then also the keyboard's super nice. So I've got some new stuff coming along. Yeah, just making some extra stuff. I mean, I love computer stuff. I know some people like the computer things. I've got a new laptop that I got from Lenovo, the ThinkPad X1 Nano, and I've actually really been enjoying that. So I know I recently made the Galaxy Book Pro 360 stuff, and I've got that. This is basically the same hardware inside a smaller platform, and it works really well. So lots of stuff coming down the pipeline. I greatly appreciate you guys stopping by tonight. I hope that y'all enjoyed the show tonight with regard to the WWDC stuff, and I hope y'all like the content in general. I mean, I know some guys are here because you like you like BlackBerry stuff, you like the phone stuff, you like the keyboard phone stuff, but yeah, I love all things tech. So I make computer stuff, phone stuff, audio stuff, an exercise bike apparently now. So anyway, I haven't gotten skinny from using it yet, so I don't know how well it works, but it's a nice workout. And nice of you to show up, Lions Man 67, 3 minutes before I get ready to shut down shop. So that's all I got, guys. Thanks a lot for showing up. I appreciate it. Hopefully I covered enough stuff that y'all learned something today with regard to WWDC and all the updates. I apologize for the noise again in the background. For those of you who have sat here and endured all of it, you're saints. Y'all are some great people. It's just, I said, it's like 90-something degrees, so it's really hot in here. So I had to turn this on so that I didn't sweat to death while I cover all this information. So hopefully y'all appreciated this. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you haven't, then if you haven't seen it already, go watch Jaws 3 so you can know the pain that the rest of us share. So that way next time you won't click the option that says Jaws 3 was a great movie on the poll. Because it's not. All right. So that's all I got, guys. I'm going to sign off, and I'll catch you all on the next video. So y'all stay safe, take care, and I'll see you all soon.